So when you look at it, and I know you've written about this on brownsfilmbreakdown.com, idea quarterback, running back fits for different sections of the draft. The Browns definitely need a quarterback, and they definitely need a running back. So what range would you assign guys that have been talked about a lot?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's again, if you're going early, and I consider early 2 or 33, you're probably saying you eliminate Cam Ward. Um, if you're saying like what's the best fit, it's probably Shador Sanders, but probably not at pick 2. So maybe it's trading back up. That's probably the best fit. The most likely fit is probably Jalen Milroe in that range as well in those early picks. So Milroe makes sense. And then the running back situation, if I'm going early, Amarian Hampton's probably the guy I'm going after. Ashton Genty's going to be gone in the range. He's not worth the second pick, and he's going to be gone well before 33. But Hampton and Judkins are the two guys, Quinshawn Judkins, that I think could be worth that 33rd pick. Now, me personally, I think the NFL draft is too loaded at running back this year to be spending that highest selection on a running back. So to be clear, I think the sweet spot is more the middle rounds, which I consider the 2 third-round picks and the early fourth-round pick. I think who I identified is an appealing player in that spot is Will Howard. I think that Howard has a lot of downfield accuracy tools. I think the Browns would like. The leadership traits are exceptional. And I do think that he got better using the middle of the field as the season wore on. The placement again, like I said, on deep throws downfield was really good. One of the better deep ball throwers in the class, accuracy wise. And like I said, started to really use the whole field in a very unique way, and has some experience getting up under center. Being able to turn his back to the defense and throw downfield, and then obviously as well, he can run the football. He's a pretty solid athlete as well. The ideal running back fit for me, I keep going back to Dylan Sampson from Tennessee. I really like he's got like a Tony Pollard, light Alvin Kamara, great comp in the middle of that somewhere. Slender build, not powerful, but boy, is he elusive. He can also get between the tackles. He can get skinny in between running lanes and gap schemes, but he can also press a hole and bounce outside. Reads things well. 36 touchdowns in 35 games. All SEC, All American last year. SEC Offensive Player of the Year. I think he can block better than the frame would tell you he can block, and be a 3-down back, and he can certainly catch the football and be a dynamic athlete in space. So that's the one that I really like in that sort of middle tier. And then if you're going late, the guy I identified late is Curtis Rourke out of Indiana, who I think has some fun quarterback tools. Will really deliver the football down the field. He's willing to stand and take some hits. There's some limitations in arm strength and limitations in mobility. He started out at Ohio, obviously, and then transferred to Indiana, but put together a really strong season. And I think he's a very structured, regimented quarterback that I like. And then the late running back I'm into, which I don't know if he'll get to this point late, but if I'm just kind of pinpointing guys who could be there in the fourth, fifth range, to me, I think DJ Giddens from Kansas State, who he just tested too well to probably be there, but that's the ideal swing for me is that player, or Devin Neal from Kansas, who's another fun player, both Kansas and Kansas State there. But guys, I mean, it's such a loaded running back class. There's really not a wrong way that you can go with it in terms of like value spots. We'll see who's ultimately better than the others, but it is a genuinely historic running back class. So it's really pick your flavor. And I'm curious what flavor the Browns like of those, because they're kind of, sort of evolving a little bit with Mike Bloomgren coming back, being a bit more of a gap heavy guy from his days at Stanford, and, as the head coach at Rice, and how they're going to implement a little more of what Kevin's zone preferences are. So there's a lot we can learn from who they select here at running back. It's going to be fascinating.